Hey guys, Mr. Lloyd here. Going to work with you on problems 5, 6, 7, and 8. And let me just pull up the original page here. This is for the work that says 6-5 homework at the top. These are problems 5 through 8 here. This video will go through problems 5 through 8 here. And I'm going to show you my work on the notebook paper. So I'm switching over right now. Problem 5 is right up top here. Let's get right into it. So here on my notebook paper, like I've done with all these problems, I like to list everything I know and then go ahead and convert this to volume. So this is, the length is 13 inches. Here it said the width is 1/2 of the length. So 1/2 of 13 is 6.5 or 6.5. Okay, so that was the first kind of trick that they're trying to throw to you. And then the height says it's 1.5 inches more than the width. So 1.5 plus 6.5 is 8. Okay, so again, these problems, like I said in the previous video, these are not really independent level problems. These are definitely group level work here. So don't get too worked up if you're making the effort. That's really what I'm looking for here. But volume equals length times width times height. Once I've converted these, now my computation is fairly straightforward. 13 times 6.5 times 8. And you can see that I got a value of 676 inches cubed, but I should tell you guys that I should have multiplied one step at a time, so this should have included an extra line. The answer is correct, but I didn't show my work like I normally should, so shame on me. Okay, that was number 5. Number 6 is a real tricky problem. It tells us that it tells us that we're working with a rectangular prism. I've labeled here, I just drew one and labeled it width, length, and height. And it tells us that the sum of the areas for the top and the bottom is 32. So I just listed here all my little steps I think about as I work through this problem. So if the sum of the area for top and bottom, I'm pointing to it with my mouse there, if it's 32, then the area for only the top and only the bottom must be half of that, which would be 16. I need to find the length. I know that the length times the width equals 16. And I know that because the problem told me that the length is 4 times the width, so I can write that English sentence into a mathematical equation as 4W equals L. And the same, or a related equation here, W equals 1/4 times L. Those two equations mean the same thing. And it's just a good like placeholder. I'm just listing all the things I know about this as I work down the page here. Now I have to think about numbers that would work for W and L. Well, if I know that L times W equals 16, let me just list the factors of 16. 1 times 16, 2 times 8, and 4 times 4. Now from this list of 3 factors, which one is 4 times the other one? And of course it's 8 times 2. 8 is 4 times as great as 2. Okay? The only one that would make L times W equals 16 true and 4 times W equals L true is 2 times 8. So I know that I know that they're 2 and 8, and I know now I have to determine is L 2 or is W 2. Well, let's just think about these two equations up here. L must be 8. And you can work this out on your own. This one is a pretty tricky problem. I don't particularly like it because it really is designed just to mess with you. Okay, but that's number 6. And then number 7 here. Number 7, what we had to think about was we're given a length in yards, a width in yards, but a height in inches. So I have to convert everything to the same unit before I multiply to find the volume. So I do it real quick. I determine that 12 inches equals 1/3 of a yard. So the height equals 1/3 of a yard. I use that to find my volume of the garden here, and it's 14 yards cubed. However, there's one more step. I told you these problems are tricky. We have to find out how much it would cost for topsoil. It's $8 per yard. So if we have $8 per cubic yard. If we have 14 cubic yards, then we just multiply 8 by 14 to finally get a value of $112. Okay. So again, these are tricky. Like I said, these would be things that we would either work through together or just do 1 or 2 of these as a class. Last problem here, I'm going to go through it quickly. We've got a box of pencils. They're trying to fit into a shipping box. So my pencils here, you can see I did in green. I found the volume to be 14 7/8 of an inch cubed. I found the volume of the box to be 3,024 inches cubed. I divide to find 203 and a decimal, but only 203 total boxes fit. That's all the time I have. Thank you for watching this video.